Hi, Tim Sells here, and thank you for watching. This is part 3 of a series of videos I'm doing called Beware That Sitting Behind Everything You Do is an Identity Within You Pushing Towards or Against Your Goals. All right, and so the faster you spot and correct enemy identities, the faster you attain your goals. And the way that you correct it is to put on, if you will, like I have these two hats here. So you put on a friendly or an ally identity to combat the black hat identity. All right, and so in this particular video, it's the third in the series, and I'm going to give you one final character trait that you have to have. All right, and so in this series of videos, I'm talking about enemy versus friendly identities. And in the previous, I've talked a lot about the enemy actions. And if you go to part 1 of this series, I go long form on explaining all of the enemy identities. All right. So, but briefly, they're procrastination, distraction, lack of motivation, lack of resources, and hoping that your business gets built without you somehow. And then this video is about friendly actions and identities that combat those enemy actions. All right. And so the purpose of all of this is how to catch enemy actions immediately as you begin to start doing or taking on the identity of it and replace them with friendly identities. And this is the final entity for now. Anyway, once I get into another area of my training, I'm going to be implementing with you. I'm going to show you how to implement these things. But don't wait for me. Go ahead and implement. Okay, so, all right. So far, I assumed the identity of an early riser. That would be a white hat identity, right? Because I want to jump up just as soon as I wake up and leap out of bed. Just right then, let my body know, hey, we're getting after it today. We're not messing around. We're not going to lollygag. We're not going to sit there and ponder. No, we're going to get into action, okay? I assume the identity of a healthy eater. Had a good breakfast so that I'm not crashing later, right? Good, healthy breakfast. I assume the identity of a helpful dad, and so I got to help my boys get in the same attitude that I have, okay? So they're going to rise early. They're going to jump up. They're going to be healthy eaters. I assume the identity of a helpful husband. Okay, so I'm assisting my wife with making breakfast and getting the kids in the car. I assume the identity of an author. Okay, so now I'm writing this content out. I assume the identity of an athlete. I work out. I assume the identity of a presenter. Okay, so now I'm in the identity of a presenter. I don't work out in these clothes. I wear different clothes. Okay, now you get the picture of this. All identities in this list are friends and allies to my goals. They're not against my goals. They are in cooperation. And that's what you're trying to achieve. How do you have a great day? Have all of your actions in alignment and in cooperation with your vision, okay, and your goals. Okay, so these are the enemy actions. Procrastination, I gave it to you in the very beginning of this video, but I gave you a little list, but this would be drilling down inside of procrastination and what's going on there. I'm not going to go through it. If you want to see me go long form on that, you can go into part 1 of this series. So it'll be 2 videos back. Okay. And so you have also distractions, confusion, old habits, playing old habits and routines, and then playing victim. Okay. All right. So if these are enemy identities, and they are, what's omitted? What's omitted is friendly identities, ally identities, cooperative identities, or cooperation. Okay. So all again, this is abbreviated. Go to part 1 if you want to see long form on it. Okay. So what friendly identities must you have, right? They must become character traits. You are not born with these. They are built, okay? One block at a time, one success at a time. So this particular one is show up fired up to win the day. Okay, so that's just a phrase that I always put in my head on it, is show up fired up to win the day. And if you win the day, if you have a perfect day, then go for a week. And so now you're show up, fired up, win the week, and then win the month, and then win the quarter, and win the year. Right? That's the attitude. So these are required identities to push out all enemy identities. This is not an optional thing. I can see any person who is wildly successful, at least in the area they're successful in, they have all the traits that I've put up here. Okay, so it's only been 2, 4, and this is the 5th one. Okay, this is what they have it on whatever they're successful in. Okay, so this one, just want to walk through a little bit on. Say, so what does this mean? This is controlling how you show up. All right? How did I show up right here? I showed up with a positive attitude. I showed up knowing that this is going to get done. I showed up dressed up in a professional way. All right? So I'm showing up and I'm putting forward the identity that I want known out there. I could drop it back. Of course I could, right? I choose not to because I want to show up and show, all right? I want to show the knowledge. I want it to be very valuable. It probably takes me 3 or 4 days in order to create what I give, and I give it for free. Okay? That's my choice. That's how I wanted to do this. Okay, so that's what I mean when it's show up, fired up, ready to win the day every day. This is controlling how you show up. And that's the first part. How do you show up? What's your attitude? What's your spirit of play in the whole part of it? Okay? You come in and, man, I'm late because of the traffic. No, you're late because you didn't leave early enough, right? Like, start off blaming the right thing, okay? So this is what I'm talking about, okay? Controlling how you show up. This is controlling the actions you do and don't do. What do you do? What do you don't do? Okay, so that is you taking on and saying, no, I'm going to keep this hat on all day, right? This thing starts to slide in and you go, no, get out of here, right? Put it back on, okay? That's the idea of these identities. This is controlling your emotions. You don't lose it. And you're not like trying not to lose it. You just don't lose it. Don't lose your emotions. Okay? So just, be playful all the time. This is playing the game with all you got. No reserve. You're not holding out for the afternoon. You're not holding out anything. Nothing in reserve. Okay? You play all day. Just get used to playing all day to win the day, win the week, win the month. The reality is that, hang on a minute. So this was a concept that I got from a book called 12-Week Year. And it is, greatness is not achieved when a great result, and that's what people think, great result, reached. That is simply confirmation. Okay, so what am I talking about with that? So you see somebody standing up on a stage in let's say a network marketing convention or something like that, and they're holding, some bonus check, or that they've earned a whole lot of money or something like that, and you say, oh my gosh, that's so great. Well, the question is that when did that person become great? Is it while they're standing up on the stage? No. And that is a profound concept to me. I never looked at it that way. But when I go back in my life and I can look at my successes, I can now purely and see and simply see that there is the authentication. That is the gold medal being put over the athlete's neck. And you say, wow, that was just amazing performance. And then you look at a dancer, or you listen to, like I love Spanish guitar, and you listen to the people play, and you say, wow, that was amazing. Well, he didn't start today. When did he become amazing? He became amazing in the moment that he or she decided to do the actions, the tactics that had to be done to become great. That's when the person became great. Not after 5 years or 10 years or whatever it is that they've been playing to get great. Okay? Incredible concept. Okay? So you become great long before the results show it. It happens in an instant, the moment you choose to do the things you need to do to be great. As long as you see, and this is kind of changing here, as long as you see the solution to your greatness as being outside of you, you will remain powerless to change. All right? The reality is that the only things you truly control are the way you think and the way you act. Everything else you can only try to influence. Okay? If you have kids, you know that's true. Right? You can control how you act, and you can control your emotions. And that's the reason that back here I was saying controlling your emotions, because it's not going to get you any good to get upset and mad at a kid, right? It just doesn't. You being funny and goofy and having, like the right kind of emotion with them, it's everything. So you control the way you think and the way you act. That's what you most control. And so that is a white hat character trait that you put on and you be. All right? It's not fake. You put it on because it's always important to show up and win the day. Right? So, and that's, so here's kind of a summary a bit. Show up fired up to win the day. Keep these identities on all the time. These are not necessarily identities you take off. Responsibility, be the reason something happens or doesn't happen. Take ownership of all that impacts your business or your child or your wife or whatever it is that you want to put right there. Be accountable for your actions and results. Accountable, okay? Keep your commitments to yourself and others. Show up, fired up, ready to win the day every day, okay? And so you can apply these to every area of your life. And to give you some specifics in terms of in-network marketing, so you do a 7-day reveal. This is a calendar here, and you walk through everything that you do in a given day, a typical day, and then you kind of come back in here and say, all right, do I really need to do that? Am I the only person capable of doing that? Am I the only person that can do that? Can I delete that? Can I delegate that? Can I give it to someday, maybe bucket? So I'm just going to say, you know what, not now. And I'm just going to put it over and say, all right, so once I cross $100,000 a year or $1 million a year, something like that, I'll take that back on. I don't really need to be building crafts right now. I don't really need to be building a cutting board. All right, so they're only $7.99 at the grocery store. I just buy one. Okay, so in other words, yeah, but I like to do it. I know, but it's preventing you from being able to buy the store. Okay, like that's the idea that I'm trying to get at here. And so carve these items out and make space for actions that do attain your goals. Okay, so you say, all right, I'm going to put that over here. I'm going to put this over here, and I'm going to put this over here, and someday maybe. Right? That's how you carve out 6.5 hours to attain my new vision. What do I do with that? Now I'm going to put in. So this is all about being fired up to win your day. So allocate 3 hours, 10 leads, 3 appointments, 2 presentations. I simplified the presentation, sent messages to prospects. Okay, drive this in and make it daily routine. That's how you create your perfect day, and you win your day, you win your week, you win your month, you win your quarter, you win your year. That's the way you get it done. All right, this is the pipeline. So this is generate a lead, contact, set an appointment to see a presentation, follow up, 7 times. You end up getting a customer, you serve the customer, you get money. You get a rep, you serve them, you earn money. That's the simplicity of it. That's how you win your day, okay? So, do share, comment on this particular one. All right, have you experienced a time you showed up, fired up to win the day? What was the outcome? Have you experienced a time you showed up bored, angry, or playing victim? What was the outcome? I bet it was like a windstorm and you're a young bird. Whoa, it kind of throws you all over the place, right? Unstable. Do you see how they are identities? Okay, so this whole concept here about fired up to win the day, they're identities that you put on. And it's not fake it until you make it. That was the video that I did about 3 or 4 videos ago. And so do check that out. There's a big difference between putting on identity as a character trait and keeping on that identity, and then it becomes you. Okay, so like, share, comment on those, and anything else that you want to say. I'm just giving you a little bit of direction here. And then subscribe if you haven't already done so. We have a Telegram channel. We'd love to have you on board there. And aboard there, you can write, ask questions. You can see questions that other people ask and so forth, so that that you can kind of. It's kind of like when somebody comes in and says, "Hey, I wonder how you do this," or something like that. Sometimes I leave an audio message and then everybody can hear it. Sometimes I reply long form. Sometimes I, just different things that people have asked me. So it's very valuable in there. So if you want to be a part of it, it's Network Marketing Power on the Telegram app. So thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you.